I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, 2nd edition. Introduction. Managing personal finances is often perceived as an overwhelming, intimidating, and even dull endeavor. Many individuals find themselves trapped in cycles of debt, unsure of how to budget effectively, invest wisely, or save meaningfully for the future. The modern financial landscape is cluttered with conflicting advice, flashy trends, and promises of quick wealth that rarely deliver. Yet, amid the noise, there are proven principles and systems that can help almost anyone gain control of their finances and build a fulfilling life. That is the central message of I Will Teach You to Be Rich, 2nd edition. This book is not about rigid penny-pinching or extreme frugality. It's about creating a simple, practical, and flexible financial system that allows for both responsible planning and guilt-free enjoyment. It addresses the common psychological roadblocks that prevent people from taking action, and it presents clear, actionable steps that can be applied regardless of one's income level or financial background. The approach is refreshingly direct. Automate where possible, spend consciously, invest wisely, and focus on the long term. In this summary, the core ideas are broken down chapter by chapter. Each section offers practical insights and tools aimed at empowering you to make smarter financial decisions. Whether you're just beginning your financial journey or looking to refine your existing habits, this guide will help you understand how to set up a system that works in the background while you focus on what matters most. Living your version of a rich life. Chapter 1. Optimize your credit cards. You've probably been told that credit cards are dangerous, that they're traps for the undisciplined. But what if credit cards, when used strategically, are not enemies of financial freedom, but powerful tools that can help you build wealth, unlock rewards, and boost your creditworthiness? This chapter begins by shifting your perspective on credit. Rather than avoiding credit cards out of fear, it encourages responsible and proactive use of them. The idea is simple. Credit cards are not inherently bad. It's the mismanagement of them that causes problems. When used wisely, they can become one of the most effective levers in your financial toolkit. First, the foundation. Pay your bills on time and in full. Carrying balances and accruing interest is how people fall into debt spirals. But if you automate your payments and never spend more than you can pay off, you not only avoid fees, you also build a strong credit history. This history becomes your passport to better loan terms, housing opportunities, and even job offers. Next, the chapter walks through choosing the right credit cards. The emphasis is on cards that offer long-term value, not flashy sign-up bonuses with hidden drawbacks. Cards with cashback rewards, travel perks, or no foreign transaction fees are highlighted, depending on your lifestyle. But the real value lies in optimizing and layering these benefits to work for you. There's also a focus on credit scores, how they work, why they matter, and how small decisions affect them over time. Your credit utilization ratio, account age, payment history, and even the number of inquiries on your report all matter. But instead of obsessing over every detail, the advice here is to build habits that naturally boost your score. One strategy? Ask for a credit limit increase every 6 to 12 months without increasing your spending. This lowers your utilization ratio and improves your score over time. Then there's the hidden benefit most people miss: using your credit card company's protections. From extended warranties to fraud protection and travel insurance, many cards come with perks that go unused simply because people don't know they exist. Reading the fine print could save you hundreds, if not thousands. Finally, the chapter shows how to handle multiple credit cards without losing control. You don't need a wallet full of plastic to win. 2 or 3 cards, each serving a different purpose, can give you maximum flexibility and reward optimization without complicating your finances. And with automation, the complexity becomes invisible. At its core, this chapter is about flipping the script. Credit cards aren't just plastic spending traps. They're leverage if you choose wisely, pay responsibly, and optimize intelligently. But here's the twist. Most people fail with credit not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack a system. And that's where the rich differ. They don't rely on willpower. They build financial systems that run on autopilot. Now that credit is under control, what's the next piece of the system? Chapter 2. Beat the banks. If your bank is charging you fees for monthly maintenance, overdrafts, or minimum balances, you're not using the right bank. This chapter uncovers a quiet truth. Traditional banks often profit by penalizing you. And yet, many people stick with them out of habit, not realizing they're bleeding money over time. Ramit starts by exposing the common traps set by big-name banks. These include unnecessary fees, long wait times, and poor interest rates. Most customers accept this as normal. But in the age of online banking, you no longer have to. This chapter introduces the idea of a conscious banking choice. Instead of staying loyal to a bank that doesn't serve you, you can move your money to institutions that reward you, like online high-interest savings accounts and no-fee checking accounts. These modern banks are built around customer empowerment. No hidden fees, easy interfaces, and better returns. Why is this important? Because your bank is the foundation of your financial system. If the foundation is weak, everything built on top of it, budgeting, saving, investing, starts off shaky. But with the right accounts in place, everything becomes smoother and more automatic. Ramit emphasizes setting up 2 core accounts. 1. A no-fee checking account for your day-to-day transactions. 2. A high-yield savings account to store your emergency fund and short-term goals. Then comes the system. Link the accounts, automate your money flow, and stop relying on memory or discipline. Every dollar should have a destination. Rent, bills, investments, savings, without you having to micromanage every transaction. But perhaps the most empowering takeaway is this. You can break up with your bank. You can literally walk away from bad service, poor interest, and hidden fees, just like you would from any toxic relationship. And when you do, you take back control. The financial system isn't rigged against you if you know how to navigate it. The question is, are you ready to stop letting your bank win? Chapter 3. Get ready to invest. Before you can start investing and growing your wealth, you need to clear the path. This chapter is about preparing the groundwork, setting up a clean, organized financial life so that investing doesn't feel overwhelming or risky, but natural and automatic. Ramit begins by pointing out a common fear. Many people are terrified of investing. They worry about losing money, making a mistake, or not knowing enough. But most of those fears come from confusion, not reality. Investing isn't just for Wall Street experts. In fact, it's simpler and more accessible than most think, if the basics are handled first. The first step? Eliminate debt and build a buffer. High-interest credit card debt is a wealth killer. So before you dive into investing, you need to get rid of it and set up an emergency fund, usually 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account. This gives you peace of mind and confidence to start investing without fear. Next, he talks about psychological readiness. Investing isn't about picking stocks or checking charts every day. It's about playing the long game, slow, steady growth over decades. That means automating your system so it runs with minimal effort and emotion. Then comes the infrastructure. You'll need to open the right types of accounts. These include a 401k if your employer offers one, especially if there's a match, free money you shouldn't leave on the table. A Roth IRA or traditional IRA, depending on your income and tax strategy. These accounts are more than just containers for money. They're powerful tools that offer tax advantages, flexibility, and access to the long-term growth of the stock market. Ramit stresses that once they're set up, the real magic begins when you fund them consistently and automatically. By the end of this chapter, one truth becomes clear. You don't need to be rich to invest, but investing is how you become rich. The question isn't whether it works. The question is whether you're finally ready to stop watching from the sidelines and start letting your money grow, even while you sleep. Chapter 4. Conscious spending. Most people hear the word budget and immediately tense up. It conjures images of restriction, guilt, and a constant tug-of-war between responsibility and enjoyment. But this chapter redefines that narrative. Instead of focusing on what you can't spend, Ramit introduces the concept of a conscious spending plan, a framework that helps you spend on what you love without guilt, while effortlessly covering your essentials and future goals. At the heart of this plan is awareness and intentionality. Rather than tracking every cent, you allocate your income into 4 simple categories: fixed costs, investments, savings, and guilt-free spending. Each serves a purpose. Fixed costs, like rent, utilities, subscriptions, should typically account for 50 to 60% of your take-home pay. These are the immovable expenses, and knowing how much they take up helps you assess whether you're living within your means. Next, investments, Roth IRAs for 401k, or other retirement vehicles should take about 10%. This category makes your future self a priority. Then, you funnel another 5 to 10% into savings for short-term goals like a vacation, wedding, or emergency fund top-up. What remains, 20 to 35% of your income, is your guilt-free spending. This is where real freedom comes in. Love artisanal coffee? Fancy dinners? Regular spa days? Spend joyfully, so long as your other bases are covered. The goal is not to deny pleasure, but to intentionally afford it. The brilliance of this plan lies in its automation and customization. Once the percentages are assigned and money flows automatically into each bucket, you're not battling your willpower every day. You're simply living within a structure designed to support your goals and happiness. But beyond numbers, this chapter subtly asks a deeper question. Do you know what actually makes you happy? Many people spend blindly, chasing momentary highs. Conscious spending invites reflection. It makes you pause before impulse buys and ask, is this aligned with what I truly value? And that's the power of this system. It's not about discipline, but clarity. When you gain control over your money, you gain control over your choices. And once you feel that control, the idea of cutting back transforms into a strategy for living a richer life on your own terms. Now, imagine what happens when every dollar starts working for you, instead of just flowing through you. Chapter 5. Save while sleeping. This chapter shifts the focus from planning to execution, highlighting one of the most powerful wealth-building tools available: automation. It's not just a convenience. It's a strategy that transforms good intentions into long-term financial outcomes without relying on willpower or daily effort. The idea is simple. Automate your finances so that saving, investing, and bill payments happen in the background while you go about your life. Rather than manually moving money or constantly monitoring accounts, you build a system where every dollar is given a job and gets there without friction. The process starts with linking your accounts, checking, savings, credit cards, and investment accounts, so money flows smoothly between them. For example, on the day your paycheck hits your checking account, a portion is automatically sent to your Roth IRA, another to your savings, some to your 401k, and your bills are paid without delay. The remainder is left for guilt-free spending. This system removes human error, forgetfulness, and temptation. It ensures consistency, which is key to financial growth. Missing 1 or 2 contributions a year due to procrastination or forgetfulness can cost thousands over time. Automation solves this by making saving the default behavior. Another benefit? It frees your mental space. When your money is routed with intention before you can touch it, you don't need to track every coffee or stress about budgeting categories. You've pre-decided what matters most, and now the system honors that without daily decisions. But automation isn't just about ease, it's about strategy. This chapter challenges the illusion that financial success comes from massive effort. In reality, it comes from early, consistent, and smart systems. Setting up this structure takes a few hours, but the rewards compound for decades. Moreover, it introduces the principle of paying yourself first. Instead of saving what's left after spending, you reverse the order. Save and invest first, then spend what's left. This simple mindset shift is the foundation of wealth accumulation. Now picture this. Your savings grow, your investments thrive, your bills are paid, and you don't even think about it. It's happening quietly, reliably, in the background. But what if you could design your entire financial life to run this smoothly? What if every part of your money, from credit to investments, worked just as efficiently? Chapter 6. The Myth of Financial Expertise. This chapter tackles a widespread belief that managing money requires the guidance of a seasoned financial expert. It questions the value often placed on complex financial advice and the credentials behind it, urging readers to approach the world of financial advisors with caution and critical thinking. At the core is a realization. Much of the financial advice industry thrives not by making you rich, but by making itself rich. Many advisors aren't fiduciaries, meaning they're not legally required to act in your best interest. Instead, they may earn commissions for selling particular funds or insurance products. This creates a conflict of interest that can drain your money through hidden fees, unnecessary products, and poor investment recommendations. This is not to say all advisors are bad, but blindly trusting someone because they wear a suit and throw around jargon can be costly. The chapter stresses the importance of knowing enough to protect yourself. Understanding the basics of investing, such as index funds, low fees, and compounding, is often enough to manage your own money successfully, especially in the early and middle stages of your financial journey. The chapter also challenges the glorification of financial news and predictions. It reveals how so-called experts often fail to beat the market, and how news outlets make money by stoking anxiety and urgency, not by helping people grow their wealth. In contrast, the truth is boring. Consistent investing in low-cost, diversified index funds tends to outperform most actively managed funds over time. The emphasis is on empowerment over dependence. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by financial decisions, you're encouraged to build a simple, effective plan and follow it with discipline. You don't need to chase the latest financial trend or rely on someone to decode the market for you. The tools and knowledge required to manage money well are accessible and often surprisingly simple. But there's another layer. If expertise isn't always trustworthy and complexity isn't always necessary, how do you know which investments actually work? What specific actions can you take that truly grow your money? Chapter 7. Investing is only for rich people and other dumb myths. This chapter confronts one of the most damaging misconceptions about money, that investing is something reserved for the wealthy. Many people believe they need to be rich before they can invest, not realizing that they need to invest in order to become rich. It challenges this backward thinking by breaking down the psychological and societal myths that discourage people from getting started. The truth is, investing is not an exclusive club. It doesn't require millions, a finance degree, or some kind of secret password. What it requires is time. And time, unlike large sums of money, is something younger investors often have in abundance. The chapter emphasizes the power of compounding, how even small, consistent investments made early can turn into significant wealth over decades. The earlier you start, the less you need to contribute to end up with a larger return. It also demystifies the mechanics of investing, pointing out that most of the intimidating jargon and complex products are unnecessary for the average person. You don't need to pick individual stocks or obsess over the market. Instead, simple choices, like investing in a diversified portfolio of low-cost index funds through a 401k or Roth IRA, are usually enough to outperform most expensive, actively managed alternatives. The chapter addresses fears around risk as well. While investing carries inherent risk, not investing at all can be even riskier in the long run due to inflation and missed growth opportunities. It's about learning how to take smart risks, not avoiding them entirely. With proper education and automation, investing becomes a background process that quietly builds wealth over time. Ultimately, this chapter aims to dismantle the mental roadblocks that prevent people from getting started. It shows that investing is not about being rich. It's about being proactive. The most critical factor isn't how much money you start with, but how long you're willing to let it grow. But once you start investing, how do you actually choose where your money goes? And how can you make it effortless so your investments grow without constant attention? Chapter 8. How to choose and automate your investment accounts. This chapter shifts from theory to practice, guiding readers through the process of selecting the right investment accounts and setting them on autopilot. The central idea is that successful investing doesn't require daily decisions or constant attention. It thrives on simplicity and automation. The chapter starts by outlining the main types of investment accounts that are available to most people. These include tax-advantaged retirement accounts like 401(k), and Roth IRAs, and standard taxable brokerage accounts. Each serves a different purpose. A 401(k), often offered by employers, allows pre-tax contributions and sometimes includes an employer match, which is essentially free money. A Roth IRA, on the other hand, is funded with after-tax dollars and allows tax-free growth and withdrawals in retirement. Brokerage accounts offer more flexibility but lack the tax benefits. Rather than trying to use all accounts at once, the advice here is to prioritize. Start with your 401(k), especially if it offers a match, then contribute to a Roth IRA, and finally invest in a brokerage account if you have extra money to save. This tiered approach is both strategic and manageable. Next comes the power of automation. The chapter explains how to automate deposits and investments so that money is consistently transferred from your checking account into your investment accounts without manual input. This reduces emotional decision-making and ensures long-term consistency, key elements of successful investing. It also touches on asset allocation, choosing the right mix of stocks and bonds based on your age, goals, and risk tolerance. Younger investors are encouraged to favor stocks due to their growth potential, while older investors may lean toward bonds for stability. Target date funds and robo-advisors are introduced as excellent tools for hands-off investing, adjusting your allocation over time as you approach retirement. The beauty of automation is that once it's set up, you can focus on living your life. Your money grows in the background, silently compounding and building your future wealth. But what if you're already in debt, juggling credit cards and loans? Can you still invest? And how do you decide what to prioritize when money feels tight? Chapter 9, A Rich Life. A rich life isn't just about spreadsheets, savings accounts, or stock portfolios. It's about living a life that aligns with your values and dreams. In this chapter, we begin to see the real purpose behind all the previous financial strategies, building a life that feels expansive, fulfilling, and unapologetically personal. The idea of a rich life varies from one person to another. For some, it could mean traveling the world. For others, it's owning a cozy home, supporting aging parents, or having the freedom to work on passion projects. There is no one-size-fits-all. The only requirement is clarity about what truly matters to you. This chapter encourages us to zoom out from the nitty-gritty details of financial mechanics and look at the big picture. You're not just saving to hit an arbitrary number. You're saving and investing to create space for the things that give your life meaning. The key, however, is intentionality. A rich life doesn't happen by accident. It's deliberately designed. This design starts by defining what a rich life looks like to you, without shame, comparison, or guilt. It then involves building systems that free up your time and mental energy, allowing you to focus less on budgeting and more on living. Rather than being trapped in a cycle of delayed gratification, this chapter emphasizes spending more on what you love and less on what you don't. That might mean splurging on first-class travel while happily skipping the latest gadgets. It's a lifestyle driven by purpose, not pressure. It's about knowing that you can afford to say yes to things that matter, because you've already said no to things that don't. What makes this chapter compelling is its underlying challenge. Can you articulate what a rich life truly means for you? Many people never ask themselves that question and end up chasing someone else's version of wealth. But when you do pause and define it for yourself, everything changes. But what happens when your vision of a rich life involves not just spending, but also navigating emotional and relational conversations around money? That's when the idea of wealth starts to get personal in ways that numbers alone can't measure. Chapter 10, The Myth of Budgeting. Most people shudder at the thought of budgeting. It conjures images of penny-pinching spreadsheets and a sense of deprivation, like being on a permanent financial diet. But this chapter challenges that narrative entirely. The traditional concept of budgeting, tracking every penny, cutting lattes, feeling guilty for any indulgence, is not only outdated, it's ineffective for most people. Instead of forcing people into a life of restriction, there's a smarter, more sustainable way to manage money. At the heart of the chapter is the concept of conscious spending. Rather than obsessing over where every cent goes, the focus shifts to proactively deciding what you value and allocating money to those things guilt-free. This approach is not about saying no to everything. It's about saying a deliberate yes to what matters most and no to what doesn't. Conscious spending empowers you to enjoy your money while still saving and investing responsibly. It's financial planning that aligns with your lifestyle, not a punishment for enjoying it. The author suggests dividing income into broad categories: fixed costs, investments, savings, and guilt-free spending. By automating these divisions, you're free from constantly tracking and worrying. Once the essentials and goals are covered, the rest is yours to spend as you please, whether on travel, dining out, or hobbies, without guilt. This flips budgeting on its head. It becomes less about sacrifice and more about intentional living. Importantly, this mindset removes the feeling of scarcity. Traditional budgets often lead people to feel they're failing if they overspend by even a little. Conscious spending, on the other hand, creates space for real joy while maintaining financial responsibility. It replaces rigidity with flexibility and stress with clarity. This reframing is powerful. It allows people to regain control of their finances without being consumed by them. It makes room for living while still building wealth. And for many, that's the difference between a short-lived budget and a sustainable financial plan. But there's one part of spending that can quietly sabotage even the best intentions, and it often hides in plain sight. It's not the big purchases or luxury splurges. It's something far sneakier, and it requires a bold strategy to master. Chapter 11: Mastering Your Invisible Money. Some of the most dangerous threats to your financial health aren't obvious. They're silent, recurring, and deceptively small. So small, in fact, that most people don't even notice them. This chapter focuses on what Ramit Sethi calls invisible money, the automatic, habitual transactions that slowly drain your wealth without your conscious permission. Invisible money includes monthly subscriptions, unused memberships, forgotten auto-renewals, and lifestyle creep. While these may appear harmless, they add up over time and can consume a significant portion of your budget. The danger lies in their stealth. Because they're small, recurring, and often automated, they don't trigger the same kind of attention or guilt that larger purchases do. But cumulatively, they're like slow leaks in your financial bucket. To regain control, the chapter urges readers to conduct a financial sweep. This means reviewing your last few months of bank and credit card statements, identifying every recurring expense, and asking a hard question: am I truly using and valuing this? If the answer is no, cancel it. This simple act can instantly free up hundreds or even thousands of dollars per year. But it's not just about subscriptions. Lifestyle creep, the gradual increase in spending as your income grows, is another form of invisible money. Without realizing it, people begin to normalize luxuries as necessities, upgrading to a nicer car, dining out more frequently, or living in a more expensive apartment. While there's nothing wrong with spending on things you love, it becomes a problem when it happens unconsciously. If you're not intentional, your expenses will rise in tandem with your income, leaving you no wealthier, only more stretched. This chapter emphasizes mindful awareness. Sethi suggests tracking only a few high-impact spending areas. Not every coffee or sandwich, but the large categories where most waste tends to hide. He advocates a big wins mindset. Cancel one $50 per month subscription and you've gained more than cutting out 20 lattes. Ultimately, mastering invisible money isn't about restriction. It's about clarity. It's about seeing where your money actually goes, reclaiming what's being lost, and redirecting it toward what truly enriches your life. Because once you uncover these hidden drains, you're able to patch the holes and take full control of your financial future. Still, there's one final, crucial shift that ties everything together. Chapter 12: A Rich Life, the Final Destination. In the culminating chapter of I Will Teach You to Be Rich, Ramit Sethi pulls everything together into one powerful idea. A rich life is not just about money. It's about living intentionally, joyfully, and with purpose. It's the ultimate goal of every budget, system, and conscious financial choice made along the way. A rich life is deeply personal. For some, it might mean traveling the world. For others, it's about spending time with family, supporting a cause, or having the freedom to say yes to what matters and no to what doesn't. It's not defined by income, net worth, or how much you've invested. It's defined by how fully you're living according to your values. This chapter challenges the reader to define what a rich life means for them, not based on what influencers, friends, or even financial experts say. Sethi offers real-life examples of people who use their money to unlock unique joys. One person spends lavishly on first-class flights, another on live concerts, another on helping their parents retire comfortably. The key is they're spending consciously and joyfully, not out of habit, peer pressure, or guilt. To reach this point, systems must be in place. Conclusion. You now have the blueprint to create a life of intention, freedom, and abundance. I Will Teach You to Be Rich is not just a personal finance guide. It's an invitation to dream bigger and live better. Through conscious spending, strategic investing, and automation, you've learned how to take control of your finances without sacrificing joy. The rich life is not about deprivation or rigid budgets. It's about aligning your money with your values and using it to build a life you genuinely love. Remember, you don't have to be perfect to start. Progress matters more than precision. Every small step you take, whether it's automating your savings, cutting out a wasteful expense, or investing a little more, is a declaration that you're building your rich life on your terms. There will always be reasons to wait, but those who live richly are the ones who act with purpose now, not later. If this summary helped you, support our channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who's ready to take control of their financial future. And don't forget to check out our other audiobook summaries for more life-changing insights. Your rich life starts today. Are you ready? Automating your savings, investing consistently, eliminating high-interest debt, and managing invisible money. All of these are the tools that free you from financial chaos. Once they're running in the background, you can focus on building a life of meaning. Sethi warns against perfectionism and paralysis. Many people put off living richly until some mythical someday when they feel they've earned it. But the truth is, you can start today. Even if your rich life begins small, like buying an extra coffee without guilt, taking a weekend trip, or helping a loved one, it's a declaration that money is working for you, not the other way around. In closing, he encourages readers to regularly revisit their rich life vision. Life evolves, goals shift, and your financial plan should adapt with it. What mattered to you at May 25th be different at 40. But the core principle remains. Money is a tool, and your rich life is the masterpiece it helps create. So the question is no longer, how much should I save or invest? It's, what kind of life do I want to live, and how can my money help me get there?